Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears is the most oldest NFL rivalry in football, dating all the way back to 1921 when the NFC North was formed. Now this rivalry been completely violent, with the Green Bay Packers dominating since the early 90s. That now shifted in 2025, meaning it changed. The Packers then split with the Bears in this season. Back then, the NFL was named the National Football Pro Association. It was referred to the Packers lead the official series 109-98-6. The two teams have made it into the playoffs, with the Bears winning to a first in 1971. He started in the Western Conference. However, the rivalry did not develop in 2002 when they were in the fully operated NFC North. This rivalry is intense, with the Bears winning once in a playoff. The all-time record is 69-58-2. The record is 69-58-2. The rivalry started in 1961. The Seahawks 49ers rivalry is a National Football League rivalry that started in 1976. However, the rivalry did not develop until 2002 when the Seahawks joined the NFC West. They have built bad blood over the decades, with the Seattle Seahawks winning 2 out of 3 playoff games ever since. And the Seattle Seahawks have won 2 Super Bowls, one in 2005 and one in 2014. However, when this rivalry began, the NFC West was a bloodfest. And the reason why the Seattle Seahawks lead the all-time records is because they have better players most of the time. This allowed for them to win a Super Bowl. They beat the 49ers in the playoffs. The Seahawks won the overall series 34-24. And both teams won a Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks won less Super Bowls than the San Francisco 49ers. They won 2, while the San Francisco 49ers have won 5 Super Bowls. And that's what made this a very intense rivalry. These two teams share an intra-conference battle of state rivalry in the intra-conference matchups because there are 2 different divisions. The Bucks are in the NFC South and the Jags are in the AFC South. So this is not a divisional rivalry. It's an in-state rivalry. And it's also an interstate rivalry, also known as the Governor's Cup rivalry. because they're right near each other in Florida. And because of this game is very chaotic, and it's even more chaotic than the last rivalry we talked about. And that was only in the NFC South. There's even craziness going on. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers even saying, we own y'all, because some of the people went from Tampa to Jacksonville for them to have an NFL team. But they share an intense, violent rivalry, resulting in a dead-even 4-4 record. Because these are two of the most trashiest divisions ever, they have the same record. The rivalry, also known as the I-75 rivalry, started in 1977. These two teams were long-time divisional rivals, battling for the division title in the NFC South since 2002. The two franchises have 9 divisional championships since the formation. From Tom Brady and Matt Ryan to Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins, these games are chaotic in this era. As of 2024, the Falcons lead all-time series 32-31. Right now, the all-time series is 34-32. In 1986, the Falcons scored their first overtime win 23-20. In 2015, the Falcons scored their next overtime win 24-20. Then in 2022, the Falcons won the match, ending Tom Brady's career, scoring 30-17 in 2022. They got the last overtime win, scoring 36-30 on the first drive in 2024 by scoring a touchdown. The Panthers and Buccaneers rivalry started in 1995 due to geographic location. However, the rivalry did not develop until 2002. Despite being a young rivalry, it is the most competitive rivalry in the NFC South to cover a championship and a playoff berth. All-time record is perfectly even, with Panthers leading the series 46-25. Over the late 2000s, each team get a playoff berth because these teams split with each other in the NFC South during them years. In 2003 and 2015, Carolina made a Super Bowl, while Tampa Bay was figuring out their championship pedigree. And no rivalry can ever be more competitive than this. That simultaneous respectiveness came out of nowhere. And since 1976, the Bucs already had 2 decades of uneven results. Overtime, it became even more intense for the Buccaneers than anybody else before the NFC South was even created. Even with Charlotte and Tampa separated with manageable trial, they still have a rivalry that is as competitive as the Buccaneers-Falcons rivalry. Structure replaced coincidence. The Dallas Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles rivalry is a divisional clash and culture war describing a bitter, long-standing NFC East feud known for intensity, hatred, deep-rooted, and memorable moments fueled by Dallas Cowboys America Team slogan over the underdogs of the Philadelphia Eagles. It marked decades of high-stakes matchups. It marked decades of high-stakes matchups with controversial moments and intense trash talk. The record is 75-59, with the Cowboys taking the lead. They are viewed as most likely to win the Super Bowl. So the San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys rivalry started in the 1970s. And it's a lot worse than the Philadelphia Eagles and now it's the Cowboys rivalry. Dallas won 2 consecutive NFC championship titles against the San Francisco 49ers in 1970 and 1971 in a divisional playoff game in 1972. However, the 49ers get their ultimate revenge in 1981 NFC Championship game, which included moments like the catch. Then in the 1990s, things got intense in the playoffs, with Dallas winning the first 2 NFC Championship games and San Francisco winning the third. The all-time series against the 49ers is 21-19 and the Falcons Saints rivalry occurred when the New Orleans Saints bet the Falcons back then. Then the Atlanta Falcons just took over and just won 9 consecutive titles. Because both of these cities are in the Deep South, they've been in the same division for 60 years, the NFC West and the NFC South. The all-time series record is 58-56, with the Atlanta Falcons taking the lead over the New Orleans Saints. In 1967, when New Orleans won the first game, Atlanta won 9 consecutive games in 1969 to 1973. Then, after Atlanta won 9 consecutive games, the Saints came back at the Jim Moore era. And they won 14 consecutive games from 1986 to 1994. But then Atlanta entered back with vengeance, winning 10 more games in the 1990s. In those early days, both were placed in the NFC West, with the San Francisco 49ers and Los Angeles Rams. Then, in the late days, they were placed in the NFC South for 2002, just to keep the intense rivalry going. Even though the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints were division rivals in 2002 in the NFC South, the rivalry dates back all the way to 1977 when Tampa Bay Buccaneers joined the NFL in the NFC North. The New Orleans Saints won their first game in 1977, so this became a rivalry. And they got a 6-game win streak back then. Both teams have made it into the playoffs with the Saints, with the Saints most likely winning. Saints dominate the series 41-28. These two teams have been at it since 1995 when the Panthers joined the league. These two were NFC West rivals until 2002 when the Panthers and the Saints were in the NFC South. The Saints have an overall record of 29-34. And the reason why they're the most hated team in the NFC South is because they won a Super Bowl, making the Buccaneers also hate them too. The Saints are leading the all-time record of the Panthers 34-29. Now, see y'all later.